Mga kapuso, natapos na po ang Judicial and Bar Council sa mga panayam nito sa mga aplikanteng nais maging bahagi ng kataas-taasang hukuman. Dalawa kasi sa mga Associate Justices ng Korte Suprema ang magre-retiro na pagdating ng Disyembre. Pero gaano nga ba kahalaga ang pagpili na ito at bakit kailangang maging kritikal ang publiko sa mga susunod na hukom? Para sagutin ang mga tanong na ito at iba pang issue, makakapanayam natin ngayong umaga si Atty. Milagros Fernan-Cayosa, regular member ng Judicial and Bar Council. Magandang umaga po, ma'am.
Magandang umaga.
Okay, ma'am. Prior to the 1987 Constitution, tama po ba, tanging ang presidente lamang ang namimili kung sino magiging parte ng Supreme Court? Pero after the 1987 Constitution, saka lang nagkaroon ng Judicial and Bar Council. Tama po ba?
Tama yan, Karen. Prior to the 1987 Constitution, may listahan na sinasubmit ang Justice Secretary to the Office of the President. At yun ang pinagpipilian ng Presidente. But ang criticism doon sa proseso na yun is that hindi talaga nalalaman ng publiko kung sino yung gustong i-appoint ng Presidente bago siya ina-appoint. So there was no screening process. So,
at saka parang ang nagde-decide lang yung Executive Department.
That's right. No? So this one, since it involves the Judicial Department, it is now all sectors are involved. There is a representative from Congress. There is a representative from the Secretary of Justice. The ex-officio chairman is the Chief Justice. Tapos apat kami na nanggagaling sa ibang sektor as regular members. I am representing the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, which is the official organization of all lawyers in the country. A retired justice of the Supreme Court in the person of Justice Helen Gutierrez, and we have a representative from the academe in the person of Atty. Jose Mejia, and we have just recently appointed as a representative of the private sector, Judge Toribio Ilaw Jr.
Okay, okay.
So 7 kami.
So 7 kayo all in all. So para mas mapakita yung sa katuparan yung independence ng judiciary, ngayon hindi na lang Presidente lang ang namimili. Kailangan dumaan dito sa Judicial and Bar Council na represented by a lot of sectors.
If you recall also, prior to the 1987 Constitution, yung mga judges at justices would have to go through confirmation on the commission, with the Commission on Appointments. At alam natin na medyo masalimuot yan at medyo political.
Right,
no?
right.
So to shield the members of the judiciary from that process, including the Office of the Ombudsman and the Legal Education Board, it is the function of the JBC na mag-submit ng mga pangalan, minimum of 3 names per vacancy.
Let's run through the process. So paano po ang mangyayari? Halimbawa ngayon, meron pong dalawang mababakanting posisyon sa Korte Suprema. So paano nagsisimula yung pagpili dito?
Pag ano, no, like this one, because of a retirement, actually the both of them are retiring this month. Sorry, in December.
Okay.
So, ma-anticipate natin na there will be a vacancy. So, 4 months ago, pinublish namin yung vacancy. So, tapos we invite those who wish to apply to submit their applications, or we also invite individuals or organizations to come up with recommendees.
Okay.
So, there are 2 processes, no? So
either you apply
mismo,
or somebody nominates you.
But nonetheless, whether you apply yourself or for yourself or you are a recommendee, you have to submit all the requirements, which include mga clearances, just to make sure that you don't have ombudsman cases, administrative cases, disbarment cases.
Okay. Tapos, kapag nakuha nyo na yung listahan ng mga aplikante or mga nominado, then you do the public interviews?
Hindi pa po. The first thing we do is like we go through a first screening process to determine if they have all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications. Example, for the position of Supreme Court Justice, they have to be at least 40 years of age with 15 years of service as either a judge or a member of the bar, and that you have been practicing for at least 15 years. So those are the minimum requirements. And none of the disqualifications, example for disqualifications, you have not been charged and convicted of any crime involving moral turpitude, Then administratively, you have not been fined of a penalty not more than 10,000 pesos, and that you have not been suspended for at least 1 month.
Okay,
no?
okay.
So
kapag naipasa mo na lahat yon,
saka ka ipapublish. And then, kasi after the publication, nung pangalan mo, no, to inform the public that eto yung mga gustong magpa-consider para sa posisyon na yon.
Okay.
And that's when we conduct
the public interviews.
Simultaneous with the interviews, although it was not shown in public, is that on the spot, pinapasulat namin sila. Because, of course, adjudication requires that you learn how to, how to write decisions.
Kasi di ba? Ikaw minsan yung ponente ng mga desisyon.
That is the innovation under the new Judicial and Bar Council. Kasi noon, they would just be required
magsasalita lang.
Hindi, but they would submit written work. So, but to ensure that they really have the skills required. Hindi lang pinapasalita, pero pinapasulat din. So we usually require them to write on a topic, a legal topic or a legal issue.
Okay. Tapos pagkatapos noon ng interviews, yung parang written exam, kumbaga, pagkatapos nun, anong mangyayari?
There is also a psychological evaluation.
Okay.
Okay, so because that's part of competence. And competence would include like the educational and experience, and then exposure to different fields of law. And the psychological evaluation, just to determine kung of sound mind siya, walang psychosis. Tapos of course, yung physical evaluation, they have to submit a medical certificate after undergoing the test that would prove that they are physically healthy.
So after, nakapag-interview kayo 17 in total, tama po ba?
Actually, less than 17 because there are those who have valid interviews.
Okay.
Pag na-interview na ho sila prior to, within the past year, we need not interview them anymore. So some of the candidates were previously interviewed, so we did not have to interview them.
Gaano karami yung isa-submit ninyo na pangalan na pagpipilian ng Pangulo?
From the list to be considered in the vacancy for Justice Perez, there are 14 to be considered. We have to submit a minimum of 3 names to the President.
Okay.
So it can be 3, 4, 5, depende kung sino ang nakakakuha ng 4 na boto mula sa mga miyembro.
Pero
so
hindi pwedeng pumili ang Pangulo or mag-appoint ang Pangulo ng Supreme Court Justice na wala dun sa listahan na pinili ng JBC.
After we prepare the short list that is submitted to the Office of the President, and the President may only choose from the list submitted by the JBC. So
Okay.
that is a limitation.
Alright. May mga alternative law groups na nagsasabi ngayon na kailangan maging mapagmatiyag ang publiko sa trabaho ngayon ng Judicial and Bar Council kasi napaka-importante ng inyong trabaho daw dahil kumpara daw sa ibang mga nagdaang Pangulo ng ating bansa, si Pangulong Duterte daw ang may pinakamaraming maia-appoint sa Korte Suprema within his term. Kanina nag-usap tayo parang nasa 10 or 11, tama po ba?
Yes, in 2017 and 2018, there will be 2 vacancies each year, and then 2019 there will be 3, and then in 2020, if the President so desires, he will have the opportunity to appoint actually 2 more. One will be retiring in March, Justice Peralta, and one in May, Justice Bernabe. So all in all, including the 2, he would actually have the opportunity to appoint 11.
11?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's more than the majority
That's
of,
right.
of
Ang
the
majority
composition ng Supreme Court.
Yes, since the court is composed of 15 justices, so majority would be 8.
At ito yung sinasabi ng ilang mga watchdogs na paano natin ma-ensure o mababalanse na independent pa rin, magiging mananatiling independent yung Korte Suprema kung more than the majority is appointed by a sitting president.
Kara, that's precisely why we have revised our rules in order to ensure that there's more transparency and accountability. First, with respect to transparency, we publish the names of the, in fact, for those who request, pwede namin sila bigyan ng personal data sheet. Yung mga personal data lang, like let's say yung mga name of the children, we keep that private.
Okay.
But all the other information regarding the background of the aspirants is made public. Second, we publish their names. Third, we invite people who would want to give some comments regarding yung aspirants, the opportunity. So magpadala kayo ng mga informasyon tungkol sa mga nakasalang para sa Supreme Court. Importante sa amin yan. And another innovation which we did during the time that there was a vacancy after the impeachment of Chief Justice Corona, we have made the interviews not just public, but televised.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
And also, we have allowed tweeted questions. So we have that in the, on Twitter. So in fact, like we got many reactions from netizens of the recent interviews kasi parang nabitin sila. Gusto pa nila na parang mas mahaba-haba pa, no? Dahil, you know, they were very engaged. If you notice also yung line of questioning not just looks into the personal integrity of the candidates but also their knowledge on constitutional issues.
Right.
Tsaka yung appreciation, kasi para sa amin importante yan eh. And we also, because we have to look into the competence, independence, probity, and integrity of the individual. Competence, of course, you know, knowledgeable sa batas. Independence, na kahit sino ang may balak na mag-impluensya sa kanya, hindi niya kayang...
Totoo.
He can actually avoid, no? Or he can prevent from being influenced into making a decision. Probity and integrity has something to do with honesty. So yung probity, yung kaalaman mo tungkol sa ethics, so that, like let's say, if there is an issue that there would be a potential conflict of interest, mag-i-inhibit ka. So yung mga ganun, no, situations. And we can see this from their actuations prior to their application.
Paano kung walang gusto doon sa listahan ang Pangulo? Kunyari, nag-submit kayo ng listahan, ito yung mga pumasa po sa aming JBC interview, sa aming screening procedure. Tapos sabi ng Pangulo, sabi ni Pangulong Duterte, wala siyang gusto doon sa mga nasa listahan.
We have history on that already. The first time that happened was when President Arroyo returned the list.
So pwede yun, ibalik ang listahan?
Binalik ang listahan, but the JBC returned the same list to the President. And we did that during the time also of President Aquino. A list for the Sandigan Bayan was sent to the office of the President. Binalik sa amin and we sent the same list because as far as the JBC is concerned, once the list is submitted, all and any one of those to be appointed is qualified. And that our constitutional mandate has already been complied with. Tapos na yung trabaho namin, kumbaga.
And with that, maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
Good luck po. Alam ko marami pa po kayong i-interviewin. Hindi lang for the Supreme Court, Sandigan Bayan, marami pang mga ibang vacancies. Maraming salamat po, mga kapuso, Attorney Milagros Fernan-Cayosa ng Judicial and Bar Council. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Salamat po.